information. You don't say, wait a minute, we're way up here on this and way up here on that, but we're way down here on this, so therefore where are we? We say, okay, look, we're in here, just this line's just down here instead of up there. Because this is an artificial construct, but a useful one. So let's look at these numbers. Let's take a look at takeoff. Trigger event. This is a trigger event. What's a trigger event? Trigger events are events that ignite them and ignite the people. They bring great visibility to things. An obvious one is during the desegregation movement. Remember when the Greyhound bus was burned? Remember that photo of the Greyhound bus when they had a freedom ride? Actually, what's that?
Fire hoses.
On the Emmett Pettus Bridge. Fire hoses on the Emmett Pettus Bridge. I'm not seeing a head shaking. So during the freedom rides, there were two buses: the Trailways bus and the Greyhound bus. Interestingly enough, the Trailways bus, everybody's dragged up, beaten up. One guy put in the hospital. One person never came out of the hospital. But that didn't really turn into trigger event as much as the bus where everybody got off. They set a fire, and that photograph of the burning bus on the side of the road went across the nation and electrified the nation. Or as you said, the fire houses, the kids at the fire houses, Emmett Pettus Bridge, when they were marching. They were going to march to the Capitol, just saying we want a right to vote. That's all. And Bull Connor comes out and sets up this. I don't know what you call it. It included dogs, gas, mounted police, fire hoses, horses with horse riders who had sections of rubber hose with barbed wire wrapped around it. I mean, it included everything. And the American people saw the videos, and they saw kids being hit, little children being hit by fire hoses, and that electrified the nation. These are trigger events, and you can't always plan them. There's lots of trigger events. Some of them are political, and I can't think of some of the ones that happened. The burning of the Blackwater guys in Iraq. Remember when the four Blackwater guys got burned? That was a trigger event. And so they work on both sides, both directions.
9/11.
9/11's the biggest one, the last.
Ooh.
But we better not go
there. I'm thinking trigger events, and why am I not saying 9/11? Pearl Harbor, another one that would electrify the nation. So that's what trigger events are. Sometimes you can set them up, sometimes you can't, sometimes they happen and they don't. But they become very important. So anyway, the takeoff stage. So this is the same 8 stages, but set up differently. This is sort of a description of the stages. This is them laid out, and also it's like this is a steady state, building stress in the system, seen as a general problem and resolution. The takeoff stage, I gotta check my time, sorry.
I'll let you know. Quarter till. You're half done.
1:45.
Okay. Trigger event is characteristic of the takeoff stage. It's sort of the defining thing, is because that's when you get this curve, you know. So the problem is put on the social agenda. People start talking about it. It's there. New social movement rapidly takes off. So it becomes a social movement, and it becomes people begin organizing around it. 40% of the public opposes it. That's already on there. The public policies and conditions. Dramatic nonviolent actions and campaigns are the kind of part of what you're doing then. You're trying to get things be seen. Actions show public conditions and policies violate widely held policies, values.
I was thinking about your interpretation of this, which is certainly an interpretation, but there is another way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that in cases in which we always look upon a war, consciously or unconsciously, we are the aggressors. We never have fought on our own land. Therefore, we have had to have 2 reasons to go to war. One is the reason why people are told that they have to fight. Two is the real reason, which has nothing to do with it.
300%. So this is a way of developing strategies for moving your movement ahead. And you're absolutely right about wars, and that's part of what this is opposing the official policies and beginning to understand that the arguments you bought, the arguments that are being fed you for why you're fighting a war isn't the issue. The issue is what, and that's when people begin to oppose it. And this is not a matter of explaining, it's a matter of trying to figure out where to go next. What's needed? Maybe I should have said that earlier, and that's why I find it a useful tool. And let me say this, I can remember a time when I was walking down the middle of mass marches, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Everybody here's with me, why am I spending my time over here? And then I realized, I thought, so let me go over the side. You go over the side, it's like, whoa, these dudes are crazy. I'm not going to communicate to these guys. What am I doing here? And I sort of wander back in the middle of the march in frustration, not figuring out what to do. It's like give me a brick. Let me heave something. Where's a Molotov cocktail? Something, and beginning to see a model and an idea is getting that map. And once I got that map, I began to look around and say, okay, I'm marching down this because my presence here is driving this line up, or is pulling this line along, or what I'm trying to do. And that gave me solace in my work, gave me focus in my work, and also helped me begin to say, okay, what should I be doing next? And that's why I'm talking about this. And incidentally, this is really the beginning of a workshop I do on helping people come up with strategy, develop where they're going.
So that was your personal story, why you are so enthusiastic of the social map. You were able to transform, let me throw this cocktail, the scene, this bigger picture of meanings so you could go forward. Your personal testimony to that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for seeing it that way, for framing it that way. So again, you don't know exactly where you are. So perception of failure. C's goals is unachieved, C power holders unchanged, C numbers down at demonstrations, despair, hopelessness, burnout, dropout, C seems the movement has ended. Ever heard of that before? Mm-hmm. That's the definition of stage 5. And actually and again, another thing too is these can go like that. I mean, stage 5 can get stretched out and stage 6 can get short depending on your movement. There's no definition that you're ever going to move to the next one. Stage 5 is partly significant because it's a time when the negative rebel is very likely to come out, where a movement is likely to turn violent. Some part of the movement is likely to say, nobody's coming out, we got to do something dramatic to make things happen. And that's often when the violence breaks out. And it's generally often when the movement is lost.
Is that where we are in the progressive wing, stage 5 now?
What do you guys think? Well, let me
That's what you're talking about.
let me go to, I'll go over 6 next, but yes.
No, I don't think I think we're in danger of being there, but after this Afghan situation is so close to Iraq, it's being, undermined by our experience in Iraq. So I think we have new juice as a result.
So let me go on to stage 6, which read this one. Major public opinion, majority oppose president's conditions and power holders' policies, problem put on the political agenda, demonology, power holders foster public's fears of alternatives and activism. Some of the strategies we're looking at is show how the problems and policy affect all members of society, involve mainstream citizens and institutions in addressing the problem. So you're moving from us activists working together to expanding our movement, bringing in the other people, other groups, because we're really trying to drive all the public up in here. So we need to go out and, in our case, talk to the VFW and talk to the American Legion, talk to the talk to the church, talk to all the other people, bring them in. Let's see. Promote alternatives. Why should we? So again, I don't know if I went this with you, but during the Iraq War, this number drove up here. We weren't driving